Hey everybody, today I want to talk about decaf coffee. This stuff right here. Decaf, it's actually an underrated product. This decaf we've got that we roast carefully is super awesome. Like the market for decaf, people tend to just think it's so small that they ignore it. They don't treat the decaf customers with respect. They have the coffees old and stale. We're doing our best to basically try and make the best decaf in New Zealand. And this is the stuff, Swiss water process. It's interesting that even the Swiss, like this is one of the number one decaf companies in the world, and even they're embarrassed about the word decaf. They say without caffeine. But the Swiss water process, it's very interesting. This is how they do it. People always say, how do you make decaf coffee? First of all, the decaf coffee, it's decaffeinated while it's a green bean. So they get the coffee cherry, strip the fruit off, and to make it decaf, they get the green beans and they soak it in boiling hot water, and they boil it lots until all the flavor and all the caffeine comes out. Then they get this lot of coffee beans, and this is one sacrificial load. They discard it, which is kind of wasteful and horrible, but I'm sure they do something nice with it. And which is left behind is green coffee extract, which is pure flavor and caffeine. Then they pass this GCE, that's what green coffee extract is, basically the boiled coffee soup, green coffee soup. They pass it through a carbon filter, which removes the caffeine, but leaves behind the flavor. So the next time they get a batch of coffee beans, they soak it in the coffee, and it removes some of the caffeine, but the flavor is kept inside the beans because the solution is saturated with flavor, but unsaturated with caffeine. So it takes some of the caffeine out. They keep this batch of coffee because this coffee has had some caffeine removed, but it's still got the flavor. Then they pass the GCE through the carbon filter again, and then they soak the coffee again, remove more caffeine, another 25% say, pass it through the carbon filter, get rid of the caffeine, then they soak it again. So every time they do it, it goes from 100% caffeine, 50%, 20%, 15, whatever, it just keeps getting smaller and smaller until you have just 1 or 2% of the caffeine left. And that is what we call decaf coffee. They then dry that out to be packaged and sold as Swiss water processed coffee. This GCE can be used for many dozens more batches. So there's only one sacrificial load of coffee to make the GCE, which can be used to produce really nice decaf coffee with water, and which is so far the best tasting decaf coffee. So highly recommend you try it. We sell it online, but roasted fresh and sent to your door. This decaf is the bomb. Mark out.